Hello, thank you so much for tuning in with me. Today I'm working again in this new journal from Barnes Nobel that I introduced in my last Journal with Me video. And somehow I was actually intimidated to work on another spread because this paper is so thick and yummy, and I actually had the issue that I might mess it up and the spread might not be, as nice as I want it to be, and I didn't want to, in quotes, ruin the book. And I think a lot of people deal with those issues. So I just went for it anyway. But yeah, definitely wasn't as easygoing as in my traveler's notebook. So for this spread, I actually had an idea, and it turned into something completely different. I find it so interesting that sometimes you have an idea for a spread in your head, and then you start working on the page, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced anything like this, but sometimes I just have the feeling that the page needs something different than what you had imagined. And I feel this especially with this book, maybe because of the way the paper is. I don't know. So the idea for this spread originally was I wanted to make a fairy spread because I wanted to use some of my new fairy stamps and washes and everything. But and you see me here, I have this butterfly washi, and I had my new Bambi washi, and I was trying it out on the page, and somehow it wasn't working for me, and I can't even explain why. So another thing I wanted to do for this spread is I did not want to glue down any papers. I just wanted to use my washi and maybe some fabric. So I had already put down my first layers of washi in the opposite corners, and I did really want to use butterflies, but those just didn't work for me. So I had this ribbon with butterflies, and I really liked the way they fit to the page, and I decided to cut one of those off the ribbon and to put it onto a piece of this cheesecloth, which I'm also using for the first time, which is also from AliExpress. And I'm so excited to finally use that because I've never used cheesecloth before, so I was really happy how that turned out. So I'm just gonna fray the edges a bit, which I think is the best part of the cheesecloth. And then I'm just going to glue that down with a regular all-purpose glue. I actually don't even own a fabric glue, and I've never had a problem in the past with just using regular glue, whatever I had on hand. So I'm doing that there, and besides that, I don't know where to go from there at this point. I do have this pink ribbon, and so I decided to add a little bit more fabric to balance the butterfly. So I go through my little fabric pieces, and I find one where I believe the colors work well, and I cut that ribbon in half lengthwise to not be too dominant. So I then glue that down. So then I feel that those two corners are quite balanced. So next I add some stamping. These are I believe this, actually I think these are from Cute Things from Japan store. They have such lovely stamps. And then I use this flower, which is definitely an AliExpress flower, and I use a more like goldish brown for this spread just to change it up a little bit and not always use black. And then I have this little butterfly stamp, which I had originally planned on using, but I didn't want to take away from the other butterfly from the ribbon, so I didn't use that. So instead I used this little hummingbird. And I really like how that turned out. And then I decided the corners are not enough. I need to add some more interest to the page, so I decided to add things on both sides of the spread, the whole length of the page. So just add some more background washi with my little scripts. They're all from AliExpress from my recent haul. I add some more stamping, just kind of like a background stamping. And then again, I wasn't sure what to do next. I knew it needed something else. So I went back to my flower stamps and decided to add one of those big flowers on the right side. I'm not sure what they're called. Are they irises? I'm not totally sure. Okay, so then I feel like it still needs something, and I think I'm gonna go through those stamps again. Yeah, so I look at those again and see what else I could add, but can't really find anything that works for me. But I knew it needs something. So then I just grabbed the second half of that piece of ribbon that I had cut, and I tried that on that corner with the butterfly, and that worked perfectly. And then for me, that was the last piece that was missing. So now it worked out for me. It was balanced and I was happy with that. So then I just add the date. And since I was struggling with this page and I wanted it to be perfect, I searched for an article online that ended up being from the page called Habits for Well-Being, and I will link that below. And it was about reasons to let go of perfectionism. And by the way, here I'm writing with my new Tombow pen, which I got at a local craft store, and I start writing the title and I already mess up, so I just decide to cover it with this lovely leaf washi. So let me read you what I'm going to write. So the 4 reasons to let go of perfectionism. Number 1 is you are worthy. Yes, you may be imperfect, we all are. However, you are worthy of belonging, connection, love. 2, we are continually changing. Every moment life is changing and we need to focus on what we can control and then consciously choose how we respond to life. There are some things that we can control and things we cannot. One of the things I have come to realize over the years is that nothing is permanent except everything comes and everything goes. Number 3, life is not meant to be perfect and neither are you. There's some random bits here that I didn't actually write down. Sorry, I'm just reading from the website. We don't have to wait for all of our ducks to be in a row in order to start something new or live a wholehearted life. We just have to have the courage to take the first step. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Number 4, we are here to grow and evolve. In every struggle we are given, we can choose to contract or expand. Yes, I know life can be extremely challenging sometimes. However, the longer we hold on to our challenges or the more we live in the past or future, the greater our suffering. At any moment, we can choose to be more responsible for our life and make different choices. If there has been a challenging situation in your past, please make sure you be kind to yourself and continually practice self-compassion. If you need some inspiration, feel free to read The Butterfly Story, and there's a link to that. So, as I said, I will link that article below if you want to read more about that. And I know my handwriting is less than perfect. I really don't have a nice handwriting, but I don't have the patience to take my time and write really nicely, especially if it's as long as in this spread. So I'm just going with, this is authentic, this is me, this is what my handwriting looks like, and it's okay because I'm trying to get away from trying to make everything perfect. So it's just good as it is. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye.